Hey friends, this video is specifically for Aquarius, and we are going to go over 2026 and the year ahead for you guys. So buckle up. There are some ups and downs. My name is Malika Semper from Malika Semper Astrology, and let's get into it, Aquarius. So the first thing to take note of is that the planet Pluto is officially in your sign. And it is for those early degree Aquariuses that you guys are going to feel this the most. So let me give you the birth dates of which Aquariuses will feel Pluto like right on top of them for the year. Those born between January 23rd and January 27th are going to feel Pluto the most. Pluto is sitting right on top of you for the whole entire year. This does bring in an intense year. You, Aquarius, are going into the depths of your soul, your psyche. You're getting to the core of something. Now, with Pluto visiting you for the whole entire year, especially January 23rd, 27th, right? In between there, if that is your birthday, something tends to come up that has either been like buried really deep or in, the back of your mind. It comes up to the forefront and it's something to be healed. So it can be a very healing year for you, but also the stuff is up to be looked at. It could have this feeling of like you going into your own deep dark cave and sitting in that dark and looking at the wounds, the fears, the story, the old habits, patterns, the old hurts coming up to be healed. And you're meant to be sitting in that cave and really doing your work. It's like looking the boogeyman in the eye and finding healing there within. And it's a very transformative year for you guys as well. Now, this isn't all Aquariuses. Remember, it's just those born between those dates that I gave you. The other Aquariuses, you'll have your turn. And don't worry, Pluto is in your sign for a long, long time. And he just offers part of the richest, deepest healing available, but it's also very intense at the same time. So go deep, early born Aquariuses, okay? And then you guys also start off the first eclipse of the year, which is sort of cool in February. We'll get into that here in a moment. Just the big overview. The planet Neptune is supporting you. The planet Uranus is supporting you guys. The planet Saturn is supporting you guys. So this is all really good news, and we're going to get into the details of this. But let's start out with the year in January. The beginning of January, there is just a lot of Earth in the cosmos. There is a lot of Capricorn. It can feel a little bit too disciplined, restrictive, dare I say, boring for you guys, Aquarius, the start of January. Okay. So, sort of having to maneuver the rigidity and the itinerary and the plans the first part of January. And then once you get through that, you're going to move into mid-January where your love life lights up, Aquarius. So, January 17th, we have the planet of love, Venus, moving into your sign. And this is really beautiful when Venus visits you, Aquarius, because it is like relationships flow. You have sort of the ignition of passion again, and it's happy times within partnership. When Venus is in Aquarius, those of you guys who are single, it could bring love into your life mid-January. Those of you guys who are committed to someone, it could just refresh, renew, bring in just renewed energy, right? There's an uplift in love life mid-January for you, Aquarius. And then the party really gets going. So between January 19th and January 23rd, so many planets move into your sign. We have the Sun in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, Venus and Mars all in Aquarius, and it literally is like a big fat Aquarius party. I mean, the whole cosmos is lit up with your energy, right? So you're really feeling the groove. You're really feeling yourself mid-January through February as well. So many planets in Aquarius. This is your vibe. You know how to flow with this energy. You're just being really cosmically supported. So it's really great news. And then February 13th, this is a big deal. Saturn enters Aries, and Saturn will stay in Aries for 2.5 years. This is affecting you guys, Aquarius, because Saturn in Aries is creating a really supportive sextile to you guys. And sextile is just a fancy word in astrology that just means a supportive aspect. So Saturn can be a little bit of a hard ass. Saturn can be a little bit of a jerk sometimes. However, when he is supporting you, like he is this year, Aquarius, you feel the stability, you feel supported, you feel grounded from Saturn. So, stability, groundedness. There's a real like discipline at your fingertips, at your disposal. There is a tenacity, a follow through. Saturn brings in just stability and reliability and security for you guys, Aquarius. So, that's really good news. Now, especially those born between January 21st and February 3rd, you guys are going to feel it the very most, okay? The rest of you will have your turn next year. Now, here comes the eclipse. Okay, so February 17th, you guys are the absolute star of the show. There is a new moon eclipse in your sign at 28 degrees Aquarius. Um, this is a big deal. You know, eclipses, let's just talk about them by themselves for a moment. They are here to speed up your growth, essentially. Eclipses bring in quick change, sudden change. There is a leveling up, there is a growth that happens, and it's everything is sped up. The energy is absolutely heightened. We really want to pay attention to what's coming in during that eclipse week. And it's all in your sign, right? So you can feel the energy of this, and it's just time for like leveling up to the next level of your evolution and your growth, Aquarius. It's really beautiful news. Um, you know, a new moon in Aquarius that is also an eclipse. I mean, the motto is like, be unapologetically yourself, you know, letting go of judgment of the self, letting your freak flag fly, Aquarius, which is one of your favorite things to do. This eclipse is going to affect mostly those of you born between February 16th and 18th because it's right on top of your head. Okay. Then we move into March, and it's still good news for you guys. Venus enters Aries, and this also supports your love life and relationships. So relationships feel really good from like mid-January all the way through March. So Venus enters Aries. Remember, Aries supports you. Aries loves you, Aquarius. And so you guys feel supported in your love life, in your social life for the rest of the month. It just feels good. Venus in this fiery sign of Aries, fire, you guys being air, fire and air gets along together really great. You guys are here to support each other. So when Venus enters Aries, there is this passion that gets ignited in your love life, Aquarius, and you're excited. It's inspiring to connect with people. There's a boldness and a courageousness that enters your relationships, okay? For all of March as well. Then, however, the story changes in April. So that planet of relationship moves into Taurus, March 30th. March 30th, yes. Now, Taurus is not your most comfortable sign to move along with Aquarius. It sort of makes you squirm a little bit in your partnerships. Excuse me, all the way until mid-April. So, you know, there is some challenges for you guys in April in partnership, Aquarius, and relationship. There could be some tension, there can be some headbutting. The energy of relationship when it's in Taurus is just a little bit slower, sluggishly slow than Aquarius is used to and Aquarius likes. It can turn relationships very like methodical, very traditional, following the rules, taking on a very slow sort of tempo and beat. And you guys like a little bit more excitement than that. Okay. So a little bit challenging with relationships, the very end of March into April. However, there's a full moon April 1st that really supports you guys. So there's a full moon in Libra on April Fool's Day. And Libra is one of your best friends. Libra is a fellow air sign. And so you're feeling the motion of this full moon. You're feeling in the flow, and you just really get that Libra energy, which is, social. It wants to be connected, especially intellectually connected. There's a lot of like mental stimulation, activation, and connection happening around that full moon for you guys, Aquarius. And it's going to be super beneficial for those of you born between January 29th and February 4th, especially. You guys are loving this full moon in Libra, April 1st. Then you get some more support, Aquarius, April 9th and the 14th. Mercury and Mars move into Aries. Remember, Aries is one of your friends. Aries is here to support you guys. So the planet of communication moves into a supportive sign for you. The planet of physical movement, sexual energy moves into a supportive sign for you guys. It just makes you feel unstoppable mid-April, okay, for you guys. Communication is on point for you guys. It's a really beautiful month to say what you want to say, to speak up, to have your voice heard for, important self-expression. You guys, it just lands for other people when you express yourself. Communication has a really nice, easy flow to it. It's ignited, it's inspired, it's fiery, and it works for you guys. So great communication ability in April, come April, into May. And then physical movement, Mars moving into Aries. This is a real fiery position that really propels us forward. So if there's anything you want to initiate or start or activate, mid-April is your time to shine. Mid-April into May, all the way through May. And so anything that requires Aquarius, you to, really find your courage and dig deep and find your bravery, as far as like your goals or something you want to start or initiate or move into. You guys have the supportive hand of Aries on your back, propelling you forward. Um, I was going to say gently, but Aries doesn't quite do things very gently. Aries, the supportive hand of Aries pushing you guys forward to achieve your goals and go after what you want. Your desires can absolutely be met April into May. Thank you, Aries, for supporting Aquarius. And then love life is looking good again. The tension tends to disappear around April 23rd. That planet of love moves into Gemini. Gemini is your friend, Aquarius. Gemini is a fellow air sign. And this just like tickles you through relationship mid-April into May. Things are falling back into place. Things run a little bit smoother. The stagnation lifts, the frustration lifts, and now there is like a lightness entering into your relationships mid-April and through May, where it's playful. We are not taking things so damn seriously all the time. It's back to like chatter and busyness and running around together and palling around together, even in your relationships. We're fun, we're curious, and we want to jump in and be a part of the social activities. Okay. Feels really good to you guys, Aquarius. And then more good news, and this is a really big one. The planet Uranus is moving into Gemini in April. April 25th. And, Uranus moves so slowly and he stays in a sign for about 7 years or so. So, you guys, Aquarius, are absolutely supported by the planet Uranus for the next 7 years. But this year, 2026, especially those of you born between January 21st and 25th, are going to feel this the most. Now, here's what happens when Uranus is in Gemini, he is trining, you guys, Aquarius, fancy word for a really supportive aspect. Uranus brings in change, change, change. Aquarius, you're not afraid of change. In fact, it feels stimulating to you guys. It's exciting. You're curious about what could come in, what could happen. So Uranus supporting you guys, especially those early born Aquariuses. I gave you the dates. Expect the winds of change to come in for you guys this year. Uranus comes in and he sees what isn't working anymore, what the old thing is, or the dead weight that you're still carrying around, anything stagnant, anything that feels like it's holding you down, Uranus creates complete freedom and liberation for you guys through the cycles of change. It's going to feel really good to you guys, Aquarius, because it is a trine and it's sort of like you want to just throw open your windows and let the air of change enter your life because Uranus is here to bring in those changes to set you more upon a more aligned path for yourself. Okay. So thank you, Uranus and Gemini, for supporting our dear Aquariuses and all this change coming in. It can feel like a breath of fresh air. Okay. Then we come to May 1st, and uh-oh, there's a full moon in Scorpio. You guys don't really know what to do with Scorpio energy. May 1st, the whole sky lights up with Scorpio energy. And this is a little bit uncomfortable for you, Aquarius, because Scorpio is a sign that squares you and you don't quite feel totally comfortable with Scorpio energy. It is dark, it is deep, it is quiet. It's like swimming through the deep, 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 dark, dark, dark waters of the soul, right? And Aquarius, you want to be a little more speedy, erratic, wild, free than that Scorpio nature. So to have the whole sky light up with Scorpio energy on May 1st can have you feeling a little bit uneasy, maybe a little bit grumpy in the square. This is going to be challenging for Aquariuses born between January 29th and February 2nd. You guys are going to feel this sort of tension the most. Now, when we feel tension like that from a sign that squares us, they do have something to teach us. So if you could turn towards Scorpio and really listen to the wisdom that Scorpio can bring in, okay? There's a challenge for you. Now, the very next day, May 2nd, um, May tends to be a little, the beginning of May can be a little bit of a harder month for you guys. So we have that challenging full moon in Scorpio. Then the very next day, the planet of communication enters Taurus. Again, Taurus, you're a little bit clunky with Taurus energy. It's another sign that squares you, okay? So communications can really slow down in May. There can be some misunderstandings for you guys. That planet of communication is entering this very slow, thoughtful, methodical energy. And you guys are much more speedy than that. So communications can feel a little bit clunky the beginning of May into mid-May. Okay. So perhaps ponder what you want to say, but maybe don't express it until mid-May, where it will land a little bit smoother. May 16th, we have a new moon in Taurus. Okay, so the planet of communication is in Taurus. We have a new moon in Taurus. You don't quite know how to dance with Taurus, Aquarius. So this new moon in Taurus is just more slow energy. So the beginning of May, the first half of May can feel really sort of slow and sluggish for you guys. That new moon in Taurus, May 16th, will be most challenging for those of you born between February 12th and 16th. The good news is communication gets, back in proper order with Mercury entering Gemini. Remember, Gemini is one of your best friends. And suddenly you have your gift of gab back. So mid-May, it's a beautiful time to finally express yourself again and have it land and have people understand what the heck you're trying to say. So misunderstandings are less likely to happen, okay? So send that email, write the text, so on and so forth. Pick up the phone, voice your opinions again because it will work much smoother, flow much smoother come mid-May. Now, what doesn't feel great is forward movement for you guys. May 18th, Mars enters Taurus. There's a lot of Taurus here in May, and it just really slows things down for you guys, Aquarius. Um, so when that planet of physical energy, physical movement, progress enters a really slow sign that squares you guys, it just creates this sort of sluggish energy for you, Aquarius. You're more fast paced, right? And so if you try to start things, initiate things, get things done and completed, jump into something mid-May, it's a square to you. So there could be frustrations, there could be some limitations coming in. It's like you see the end goal, you see where you want to go, but instead of going straight for it, you have to sort of maneuver to the side or take a shortcut or reroute the whole entire plan, right? And so forward movement, completion of goals, going after what you want, mid-May into June can be a little bit slow going. So just be aware of that. Now, we enter June, mid-June, and finally there's some air in the heavens. There is a new moon in Gemini, which feels really good to you guys, June 14th. You're feeling at ease again. You're feeling happy again with this energy in June. And this new moon in Gemini is going to be especially supportive for Aquarius born between February 10th and 16th. You guys are feeling yourselves. You have your groove back. There is the flow of life again, the inspiration, and the lightness of being with Gemini, which you guys really enjoy. So mid-June, it's feeling really good. And then check this out, the end of June, June 29th, our planet Jupiter, which brings in good luck, expansion, growth, dreams coming true, that sort of energy, is entering into Leo. Leo is your opposite sign. So Jupiter is opposing all Aquariuses from July through December, so the second half of the year. Now, when Jupiter opposes you, here's the deal. He's still blessing you. He's still bringing you opportunities and open doorways and, this feeling of, oh my gosh, the sky is the limit and everything feels larger than life and excitable. But with an opposition, there's also overwhelm. There's also like overdoing it, overwhelm, overindulgence, overspending, overcommitting, overpromising. So while they are all good things coming to you guys the second half of the year from Jupiter, there's also a deep, deep need for moderation. So being mindful of that because you're like, oh my God, this is too good to pass up. I have to say yes to this. I have to say yes to that. And before you know it, you have things falling off of your plate. You've overbooked yourself. You can't follow through, and you're just in complete overwhelm. Okay. So while you're being blessed, also have the discernment where to say no to certain things so that you don't fall into that exhaustion or overwhelm for the second half of the year, all Aquariuses. Okay. Important to note. And then the end of July, we have a beautiful full moon in your sign, July 29th, and you are feeling good. The whole entire sky is lighting up with your energy at the end of July. This is going to be most beneficial for Aquarius born between January 24th, January 28th. It's right on top of you. It's right on top of your head. So it's this feeling, the end of July for you guys, Aquarius, of your intentions, the seeds that you've planted earlier, are now like coming to fruition. There's something that has been culminated. There's something that has been grown, part of your like deepest wishes and most authentic intentions during that full moon in Aquarius. And you're really vibing with that the end of July into August. Okay. Lots of Aquarius energy, and you know how to move under the sky. Now, August 6th, you guys get a little help in your love life once again. Venus moves into Libra here, August 6th, and it's just putting hearts in your eyes, Aquarius. Libra is a fellow air sign. Libra is one of your best friends. And so you totally know how to move under this Libran sky. So, the planet of relationships moving into Libra is trining you guys. So all of August, there is an ease in partnership for you guys. There is, you're feeling inspired, you're feeling the desire to connect. You're just met in relationships and partnerships for August. Okay. And then September, the planet of communication also moves into Libra, supporting you guys with communication. You can use all your words that you know to express yourself, all your words of love, especially because Libra is such a relationship-based sign, right? But it's super supportive. So if there is something that needs to be said, an email that needs to be sent, communication that needs to be had, September is your month to do that after the summer is over. It'll just land better. It'll be met with understanding. Then September 26th, we have the sky lighting up with the full moon in Aries. This feels really good to you guys as well. Aries is your friend. Aries supports you in a sextile. And so you just get a boost of energy and fun the end of September. You love this fiery energy, this fiery sky. It really motivates you. Okay. So feeling really good towards the end of September as well. Now, communication. I hope you said what you needed to say earlier in September because the last day of September, Mercury, that planet of communication, moves into Scorpio. So October is not the best time to get something off your chest or to, fully express your, I mean, you can totally do it, but it'll feel a little bit clunky and it will be received maybe as a misunderstanding or people just aren't quite getting what you're trying to say. So Mercury moves into Scorpio September 30th, and it's almost like it's muting you, Aquarius. It doesn't feel great, the Scorpio energy for our darling water bearer in the square. Scorpio squares you. So communications are just a little bit muted. They're more internal, they're more quiet. Scorpio wants you to read their mind. And Aquarius is like, just say it already. Oh my God, just say it already. And so there's some mutedness coming in October for you guys, okay? However, there's a new moon in Libra, October 10th, and this feels really easygoing for you guys. Remember, Libra is here to support you guys in a trine. New moon in Libra, October 10th will be especially beneficial for those Aquariuses born between February 3rd and the 9th, okay? So it's your time to sort of shine and connect with people under a new moon in Libra. Now, October 24th, we do have a Mercury retrograde that's going to affect you guys, Aquarius. That Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio. Remember, Scorpio is a little bit of a awkward sign for you guys to maneuver with. And so that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio has you guys feeling moody, a little testy. It's very reflective. It's not your favorite energy, Aquarius. So October 24th, going into November, when Mercury is retrograde, it will be a time of reflection for you guys. And communications, plans can be a little bit frustrated. It's like we make a plan and it's funny because is it going to actually come to fruition or happen the way we plan it to happen? Probably not during Mercury retrograde, definitely not for Aquarius when Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio. So reread that email before you send it. Make sure your alarm is set before you go to bed, like check it twice. Not the best time to openly express yourself and say what's on your mind because it will probably be followed up with having to explain yourself a little bit more. Okay. So a little bit of a rough Mercury retrograde for you guys, October 24th into November, followed with October 25th. There's a full moon in Taurus. Halloween can be a little bit stressful for you guys, Aquarius, this year. The whole sky is lighting up with Taurus energy a week before Halloween. And Taurus just feels, a little bit stressful for you guys. So there can be some stress coming in, some tension coming in for you, Aquarius, especially those most challenging for those of you born between January 21st and 25th, really having to figure out how to slow down, how to find your grounding, how to be a little bit more practical and diplomatic than you are used to, okay? Then we move into November, and there's a new moon in Scorpio. This is another sign that squares you, okay? So October and November, the first part of November, can be a little bit tricky for you guys, can be a little bit challenging. So the sky is lighting up with Scorpio energy November 8th, and you just get a little bit fidgety and uncomfortable with this square. Most challenging for those of you guys born between January 21st and 25th, this new moon in Scorpio. it's asking you to go deep. It's asking you to touch into your emotions, and it's asking you to be quiet and to go inward and to get comfortable with the darker parts of this human existence, right? Not your most favorite thing to do, Aquarius. Now, good news is that just before Thanksgiving 2026, there's a full moon in Gemini, and Gemini is your best friend and here to support you. So finally, you made it through October, you made it through most of November, and now November is here to support you, the end of November. Um, Full moon in Gemini, your friend Gemini is lighting up all the heavens, and it makes you, Aquarius, puts you back in your good mood, it puts you back in the fun of things. And now this lightness of being enters. We are now, looking for our people and connecting, and it's a much more friendly energy that you are quite used to, Aquarius. So happy Thanksgiving. This will feel extra good for Aquarius born between January 21st and 25th. Um, Now, December 4th, you got to pay attention to your relationships this Christmas season, the holiday season. That planet of relationship moves back into Scorpio, and it just makes you a little bit squirmy in relationships this holiday season. Scorpio is that quiet energy, right? The depths of the soul and the psyche. And so relationships for you, Aquarius, can feel super intense this holiday season. Super intense. People want to sort of be stuck and glued to you, binding themselves to you. And you need a little bit of air to breathe in relationships. You really do like that personal freedom that you can experience within your partnerships, right? So it can feel a little too intense, a little bit too squishy, close, and heavy in relationships this holiday season. So go slow, see what Scorpio is here to teach you as far as your partnerships go. Then right before Christmas, December 8th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. So you love it. Sagittarius is one of your greatest friends. Sagittarius really supports you. You're feeling the freedom coming in with this the beginning of December, the freedom to move about more freely. You're feeling the fire energy, the laughter, the enthusiasm that a new moon in Sagittarius can bring in, the open-mindedness, the you know getting unstuck from the details of things and looking at the bigger picture. All of that feels really good to you, Aquarius, and that is a really strong energy that you're moving into December with. That new moon in Sag, December 8th, is really going to support Aquarius born between February 2nd and February 8th. Okay. So enjoy 2026. Thank you for watching. I hope this was most helpful for you guys, Aquarius.